Now in the second lecture of the power supply lecture series, I want to just let you know or discuss about the circuit analysis of the full wave bridge rectifier. Now in the circuit analysis of a full wave bridge rectifier, we are going to explain the input power, the output power, and then we are going to explain what is the efficiency of a full wave bridge rectifier, what is the ripple factor, what is PIV or that is peak inverse voltage, and what is the voltage regulation and the percentage voltage regulation. To begin with the lecture, we start or we refer to the same diagram that we have referred in our last lecture. So the diagram goes like this. So we have a full wave bridge rectifier which is consisting of 4 diodes D1, D2, D3 and D4. They are connected in the form of a Wheatstone's bridge network, and then we have the power which is taken along the load resistance RL. Now this circuit, as you all know, that it converts the AC input voltage to a DC output voltage, but whatever the output voltage we get, those are the pulsating output we get, which are having the ripples, and those ripples they have to be removed by adding a filter circuit to this. So before applying the filter circuit, we have to study about the circuit analysis of this particular full wave bridge rectifier. Now in the circuit analysis, we consider that all the diodes D1, D2, D3 and D4, they are the identical diodes, and let Rf be the dynamic resistance of the diodes. Now the input voltage at any instant, we get the equation for the input voltage is given to be equal to V is equal to Vm sin omega t. So this is the equation of the input voltage, in which Vm stands for the peak voltage and omega t is nothing but the angular, omega is the angular velocity, angular frequency. So we have the instantaneous value of the current is given to be equal to Im sin omega t for the first positive half cycle, for which 0 is less than equal to omega t less than equal to omega. For the negative half cycle, we have I is equal to minus Im sin omega t, for which omega t lies between pi and 2 pi. The minus sign indicates that during second half cycle, the wave is still sinusoidal, but it is inverted. Now we apply the Ohm's law to this, and therefore we have the peak value of the current in the circuit is given to be equal to the peak value of the voltage divided by the total resistance that is applied to the circuit, which is a sum of the load resistance and the dynamic resistance of the diode. Then the first factor that we are going to derive is the DC or the average value of the output current. Now IDC, as it is indicated as, it is nothing but the average current, I average. Okay. So this is equal to 1 upon 2 pi into integral of 0 to 2 pi I d omega t, and this I is the instantaneous current. So 1 upon 2 pi into, we have this, we split into the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle. So for the positive half cycle, we have integral 0 to pi Im sin omega t d omega t, plus for the negative half cycle, integral pi to 2 pi minus Im sin omega t d omega t. Then we find out the integration of this. Im and Im are taken out, which is a constant, Im upon 2 pi into sin omega t. The integration of that is minus cos omega t between the limits 0 to pi, and here it is minus of minus, so plus cos omega t pi to 2 pi. So we put the limits of integration in this. It goes like this: Im upon 2 pi minus cos pi plus cos 0 plus cos 2 pi minus cos pi. So we know that cos of 0 is equal to 1, cos of pi is equal to -1, etc. We put the values in that. So this is equal to 4 Im upon 2 pi, or that is equal to 2 Im upon pi. So we have the DC average current is given to be equal to 2 Im upon pi. So next we find out what is the RMS or effective value of the output current. Okay. So the definition of the RMS is nothing but the root mean square value of the current is defined as the square root of the average I squares during a complete cycle. It is given by IRMS is equal to 1 upon 2 pi into integral 0 to 2 pi Im square sin square omega t d omega t. Again this is for the positive half cycle, plus you have pi to 2 pi Im square sin square omega t d omega t for the negative half cycle. Since now we have taken the square, that negative sign goes and it is Im square sin square omega t d omega t, and the whole thing raised to half because it is a square root. Okay. So this is raised to half. So now we take Im square outside. So Im square upon 2 pi into 0 to pi. Now sin square omega t, we can write it as 1 minus cos 2 omega t upon 2. And here also sin square omega t is 1 minus cos 2 omega 2 upon 2. Now we find out the integration of this. This goes like this. Im square upon 2 is a constant. Omega t upon 2 minus sin 2 omega t upon 4, limits of integration 0 to pi, omega t by 2 minus sin 2 omega t by 4, the limits are pi to 2 pi raised to half. So if you just put the limits here for all this, what we get is IRMS is equal to Im divided by root 2, where Im is nothing but the mean value, peak value of the current here. Then the power supplied to the circuit. So all of you know that what is the power given by? Power is equal to voltage into the current, correct? So we have the current into the voltage, again by Ohm's law we can write it as I into I, R. So it becomes I into I, that is I square R. Okay. So here I we take it as equal to the RMS value. So the input or the AC power is given to be equal to I square RMS, and the total resistance that is applied to the circuit, that is RF plus RL. Okay. So this becomes equal to Im square upon 2 into RF plus RL. So that gives you the power supplied to the circuit, which is the AC power. Then we have the power supplied to the load, which is the DC power. So power PDC is equal to again I square DC into RL. Now I square DC or IDC is nothing but equal to I average, which we have already derived. It is 2 Im upon pi. So we substitute here, what we get is 4 Im square in RL divided by pi square. So this will give you the power supplied to the load, or that is the output or DC power. Then we have the rectifier efficiency. So the efficiency is given to be equal to the ratio of DC power supplied to the output to the total input AC power into 100. Now this DC power supplied is PDC divided by PAC into 100. So PDC just now we have seen, it is 4 Im square RL upon pi square. PAC is Im square RF plus RL divided by 2 into 100. So if you substitute, some of the terms they get cancelled, Im square get cancelled, RL cancels with this. So what we get is 8, this 2 goes here, it is 8 upon pi square into RL divided by RF plus RL into 100. So this is, if you simplify again, 0.812 divided by 1 plus RF upon RL into 100. Now in this equation, if RF is very small as compared to RL, then this is nearly 0. So what we get is the efficiency is equal to 81.2%, and this efficiency is quite large, and we say that the performance of the full wave rectifier is quite, say, high or quite good as compared to the other rectifiers, like you have the half wave rectifier. Then we have the next circuit factor is nothing but the ripple factor. And this ripple factor is defined as it is the ratio of RMS value of AC component of the load current to the average value of DC load current. So that is the definition, but it is indication of the amount of AC or the amount of pulsations present in the DC output. So that is the general meaning of this. So it is equal to what? IAC divided by IDC. So this IAC is IRMS, or this together we can write it as IRMS IDC the whole square minus 1. Substitute for IRMS, it is Im upon root 2. IDC is 2Im upon pi minus 1 pi square upon 8. If you simplify, Im cancels, etc. So pi square upon 8 minus 1, or this becomes equal to 0.482. So if you convert in percentage, what we get, the ripple content in the output is 48.2% of the DC component, and hence there are the ripples present in the circuit, and because of this factor there is a need to, you have to connect the filter circuit which will remove all these amount of pulsations or amount of ripples which are present in the output DC current or voltage. Then you have the next factor is peak inverse voltage, which is nothing but in short it is written as PIV. It is defined as the maximum reverse voltage which the rectifier has to withstand during the non-conducting period. Okay, it is defined as the maximum reverse voltage which the rectifier has to withstand during the non-conducting period. Now we can see the working of the full wave rectifier is such that during the positive half cycle, the diodes D2 and D4, they don't conduct. So only we have the conducting due to the D1 and D3 diodes. And in this particular positive half cycle, the input AC supply D2 and D4 are reverse bias. So the voltage drop across the load resistance due to conduction by D1 and D3 is equal to Vm plus Vm is equal to 2 Vm, correct? But D2 and D4 are reverse bias and they are non-conducting, correct? So this voltage, the output voltage, that is 2 Vm, this appears across two open diodes, that is D2 and D4. Hence voltage across each diode is equal to what? 2 Vm upon 2, or that is equal to Vm. Hence this Vm represents what's the peak inverse voltage. Okay, so this voltage is nothing but the voltage which the rectifier has to withstand during the non-conducting period. So that is called as a peak inverse voltage. Okay, then you have the voltage regulation. So the performance of the circuit is determined by the voltage regulation. So it is the measure of variation of the DC output voltage as a function of DC current and is defined as what? The voltage regulation is equal to VDC for no load minus VDC for full load divided by VDC, that is full load. So when we define the regulated and unregulated power supply, so what is the necessity for the regulated power supply is the output voltage should not get affected by the load current, your load resistance or the input variations. So this factor VDC minus VDC for no load minus VDC for full load, this factor should be very, very less. If there is no variation, I mean very negligible variation in this, then we say that the voltage regulation is perfect in that particular circuit. So it can be measured in percentage, as percentage regulation is equal to V no load minus V load divided by V load into 100, where V NL represents V no load and the VL for zero load, and VL refers to the voltage with the resistance RL across the output. So lesser the percentage regulation, the performance of the circuit will be better one, correct? So these are the 8 say factors or the constants which we include as the circuit analysis of a full wave bridge rectifier, and after the full wave bridge rectifier, the rectifier output is fed to the filter circuit in order to minimize the ripples or the pulsations of the circuit. So hence in the next lecture we will just find out, or we will explain the filter working and the different types of filters that we can just include in the circuit. So thank you.